Well, good morning. You might be wondering where on the planet I am. And you won't believe it, but I, the fat old gal, have actually climbed up on my roof. Might need the fire brigade to get me down later, but anyway, because I wanted to show you this beautiful skyline. I don't know if you can actually appreciate or see this. And there's quite a wind blowing. We've had quite a lot of storms recently, but this is the most beautiful sky because of the intense winds up there, and it's swirling and creating this amazing pattern. Plus it's also sunrise. It's still quite early here, and I'm not even using a Steadicam or anything. I'm just using good old-fashioned handheld, because that's the whole idea with these videos, as you know, raw and real. And here you can see, yeehaw, the birdies clearly enjoy it up here. And the tripod waiting for some action. But I see that I don't have a lot of video time left, but I just wanted to give you an appreciation of the view. And there's the said ladder that I clambered up with the dog thinking, what the hell is my crazy mother doing up there? Anyway, as I said, we might need to engage the fire brigade to get me down. And sadly, I don't have a lot of video time on the phone for some reason. I thought I'd deleted everything. But anyway, this morning I was trying to come up with and thinking about, you know, what should I do for my next video? And I was watching some stuff on YouTube, and it got me thinking. So now I'm going to try something quite intense. Not sure if this is going to work. Let's see. Apparently it's not going to work, because I'm trying to turn the video around and it doesn't want to. So yeah, so of course, what would a video be without my gorgeous mug? And this is going to be the one and only time where I have spliced two videos together, because I couldn't flip the camera around whilst I was busy. It's so funny, I'm sitting up here on my roof now, and somebody's just walked past and looked up and seen this weirdo sitting on the roof videoing herself at the sparrow's fart. Oh my soul. Well, I think the sparrows farted a while ago. I'm still waking up. I haven't even had coffee yet. But I was checking out this guy this morning saying that, you know, this is the way YouTube is evolving, and Gen Z, and this is what they want to see, and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, good grief, how am I supposed to compete? I'm some fat old gal, you know, from the burbs who doesn't have the first clue about techno and all the latest bells and whistles and gadgets, etc. And then I thought, hey, well, you know, let's get out there, let's get a bit daring and risky and get up on the roof and make it happen. So here we are. But I actually did have a serious topic to talk about. As always, I've always got life-provoking or thought-provoking or food-for-thought kind of topics. But I've got to keep a close eye on how much time we've got, because for some stupid reason, my phone has only given me 3 minutes left available on video record. Because I haven't deleted stuff, you know, and this, I kid you not, is an old Samsung S8. I mean, this is the techno-challenged me that we're talking about. Never mind, this roof is killing my butt. Oh, my soul. So, I just wanted to say hi to you guys this morning in a different location. I mean, you can see the wind is blowing. It's really quite enjoyable up here. It's something I've always loved doing, is just, you know, defying age, refusing to, as they say, grow old gracefully. Nah, I'm going to sit on my roof like a weirdo at my age. Not sure if this bright sunlight is doing my gorgeous features any justice either, but yeah. So I'm going to call it quits for now, because the video isn't going to give me much time. I am going to splice together a few clips in this one. I know I say no editing and no other jazz, but I just got to splice the first part together with the second part, because I wanted you to appreciate the view and the scenery from up here this morning. But as a final parting gesture, I think I'm going to do the old manual maneuver. Okay, never mind the fancy tripods and other jazz. But let's see if we can make it stick. I'm going to try and do this without too much shaking and quaking, and just give you a little bit of an appreciation for the surroundings. And, you know, never be afraid to climb out of your box or climb up on your roof, whichever weird thing takes your fancy. Never be afraid to try something new, especially as you're aging. But you know what, Gen Z, I've got news for you. It's not all about being young and spunky. Us older folk do have something to actually tell you and to share with you. And that's going to be what I'm going to pick up on when I get back down and actually survive this fantastic ordeal. Because then I'll splice that one in for this one as well. So I'm going to catch you guys shortly in a more, you know, sedate and suitably comfortable location. Okay, so we survived the ordeal, and we're in my more traditional suitable location with said suitable recovery beverage from my ordeal. I can't imagine what the lady was thinking who walked past and saw me sitting perched up on my roof like some weirdo with my video camera going. And I waved and smiled, and she waved and smiled, and I can only just, I would have loved to know her thoughts at that moment. Because my dogs even know how nuts that is, because they sit at the bottom looking up at the roof thinking, hello, come down, you know. But yeah, what I wanted to get to, and now that we've sorted out the video issues, I've got more time. I was like listening to this guy talk about Gen Z and how, you know, things are evolving and changing. And of course, the way YouTube is evolving and changing, and the things that YouTube are putting out, the new tools, bells and whistles, you know, things that are like both lanes, because I'm like, what? It's amazing I can even switch the camera on. And unashamedly, you know, I do come from an older generation, obviously, and things were very different when I was growing up. We didn't have internet, YouTube. We didn't have microwaves. We didn't have cell phones. We started doing computers when I was in high school. That was the first computer that I had. So, you know, I've grown up with how things used to be. And I remember my gran always talking about, oh, in my day, we did this and we did that, and we didn't have this and we didn't have that. And I used to kind of go, nah, poo-poo, whatever. And only now do I suddenly appreciate what she was on about and what really was, you know, the big deal. Because life was very different when my gran was growing up. Life was very different when I was growing up. And now I'm the older one looking down at the younger generation going, wow, you know, what's happening and I can't keep up. I'm certainly going to be feeling the ladder exploits tomorrow. My thighs are not thanking me for that little aerobics antics this morning, let me tell you. But it's a good thing, right? To stretch out of your comfort zone. So the YouTube algorithm is changing all the time, and the way YouTube is done, etc. And this guy was talking about how, what does Gen Z want? They are this instant generation. They want the flashy lights, the editing, the bells, the whistles, the slick, the, you know, the chop and change, the picture changes every 3 seconds. There's actually neurological studies that show, especially with little ones whose neurological pathways are developing. There's studies that show with all this flashing, high-colored, bright-colored, loud music, noise, bells, whatever, it's affecting their neural development and their neural pathways. And, you know, as a tutor, I deal with teaching kids of all ages throughout the week, from quite young all the way up to matric. And it shocks me when I see how they struggle with attention, how they struggle to focus, how they struggle with basic comprehension, because it's not being spoon-fed to them at 1,000,000 miles an hour in every 3 seconds of a clip. When you ask them to read a passage for more than, you know, 5 minutes, their brains literally implode. It's like they're incapable. And this guy was talking about how what Gen Z is like and the kind of lifestyle that they lead and the kind of things that they want. And this is not a pick at Gen Z, by the way. This is just a let's stop and think, people, because that's what I like to say. Let's stop and think. Let's challenge ourselves with seriously looking at what's going on in the world around us. What is happening out there? It is horrifying. And, you know, we can't separate ourselves firstly into I'm this generation, you're that generation, and there's no, you know, there's this great divide in between. Now more than ever, we have never needed to be more integrated and connected with one another across all the ages, you know, from all the way young to all the way really old. We really need to stand together and stop and realize what is going on in society right now. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit more, I don't even know the words, than we realize. Society is being destroyed, and community and sense of family and sense of togetherness and sense of, you know, connection as human beings is being destroyed because of this very thing that I'm busy contributing to, this YouTube jazz, social media, all of these things. We've become this insane, it's like a different species. You know, we haven't physically evolved, but we've evolved in our emotions and our mentality and our appetites and our demands and our cravings. It's nuts. You know, the kind of things that are being put together on YouTube, like the productions and the machines and the equipment and all of this. And here's me, good old me, you know, non-editing, non-bells and whistles me, other than the few splices that will happen in this video, as mentioned. Shaking tripod, poor sound, whatever, I couldn't care less. I wanted to be as raw and real and in your face as possible. because I don't want us to lose sight of who we are. I don't want us to lose our humanity and our connection with one another. And I feel that's happening all around us. You know, I feel a real sense of concern and alarm when I look around at the world. And the one thing that we are seeing and showing signs of as a society is that we're losing our love for one another, our genuine humanity and love and compassion for one another. I was so weird the other day. I went to go and get some toiletries at our local chemist down the road. And, you know, I'm on a budget. I'm someone who can't afford the absolute best of everything. So I'm always very closely scrutinizing everything available, looking for the best options, the best prices, etc. And I go down the shampoo aisle and there's a lady. It's actually a 3-generational. It was so beautiful. There was Granny slash mom, her daughter, and then of course the granddaughter sitting in the trolley. Beautiful family. And spontaneously we just got chatting about the prices and, oh, it's this and it's that and moan and groan, you know, everything's so expensive, and almost the back in my day conversation cringe, which I never thought I'd have, but here I am having them. And we were just chatting. And interestingly enough, if you don't know South Africa, we're a very cultural, you know, diverse society. There's a lot of races, colored, you know, skins, as in different colored skins, and lots of different languages. We've got like 13 official languages or something, 11 or 13, I can never remember. So we were chatting, and they, you know, they weren't a white family. And I'm certainly, I couldn't care less how old you are, what color you are, what language you speak. I'm just so passionate about, let's all just care about each other, please. Please, let's just help each other. Let's just love each other. Let's just care for each other. So we got chatting, and then this one lady, I think it was the daughter, or it could have been the grand. Either way, she said, you know, we need to stand together more as a society. We don't stand together as a society. And of course, she was talking about and referring to locally South Africa. But I know this is a global situation, right? I know this is a global problem. We're not standing together on things that matter. We're just spending our entire day consumed by pointing fingers, viciously commenting, insulting, criticizing, looking for things to nitpick, looking for things that are wrong, looking for things that we can rip apart, expose. Oh, look at this old bag. She doesn't even put on any makeup. She doesn't even have any fancy effects, or her videos are pathetic, etc. You know, we just stop. If we just stop for a moment to consider what really matters. What really matters is not this outside window dressing stuff, right? And the fancy bells and whistles on the video. What really matters is what's on the inside, in there, and what's going on up there. These two things are connected. And, you know, like my videos run, I try to keep the videos not too long. This is already stretching past what I like to normally do, because people just don't have the time. They just don't give the attention anymore. They just whiz. They want this instant bing, bing, and they're gone. But we've just not stopped. We've lost the ability to stop and be human, and to connect with each other, and to just talk about general life. Hey, the prices are going up. Why are we allowing this as a society? Why don't we all just stand together and voice our displeasure at this situation? Why are we allowing this privileged few that sit up in the upper echelons of society, who make the rules, who dictate the prices, who set the trends, who set the paces, etc., when the majority are sitting passively on the couch or the bed, or sometimes on the roof, depending? But what are we doing? How are we changing? How are we making a change? How are we making a difference? And as we get older, it's easy to just want to fall into a rut and just to get super comfortable. Where, of course, Gen Z are all go, 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 and all super hungry, you know. All the youngsters of today just want the latest and greatest and most flashy and exciting bells, whistles, etc. But honestly, guys, we've got to stop. We've got to take a long, hard look inside. And we've also got to reach our younger people, not let them carry on this insane roller coaster that they're on. Just some thoughts, just some food for thought that I was sharing today. So I don't know if I made any kind of radical point. I'm actually going to call it quits for this video, because I don't want to ramble on for the sake of rambling. But yeah, you know, if you catch this video, share a comment, a thought-provoking comment, or just, you know, stop and engage on our channel, which I'm hoping to try and grow. Stop and engage with other humans. Just stop and engage with somebody in the grocery store where you're buying your toiletries, and have a discussion about you know, which shampoo works nicely, and the prices, and just engage in life, in things that matter. You know, we've got so many critical crises going on out there, and yet we want to sit and rip each other to pieces on social media platforms, and we want to criticize how someone looks and how they sound, instead of how can we actually help. So I always ask myself, and I challenge us with this today, and what I do is what I'm doing, or how I'm acting, or what I'm saying, is it helping anybody, even myself? Is it helping? Is it making a difference? Is it making the world even just a teensy weensy bit better? Or am I hurting and hindering? And that sometimes needs to be stopped and thought about, because you might think I'm doing this great job and I'm a fabulous human being. But are you really? And I challenge myself with this regularly. Am I really being the decent human being that God called me to be? Am I really being what God needs me to be at this time where there's so much love melting away, disappearing? We need to bring that back. God says, love one another. And we've got to examine what that means. We've got to think about it. We've got to chew on that. And understand that love is about considering others. It's about caring for others in a genuine way, not because you have an ulterior, what can I get out of it motive. Really genuinely caring for other people and saying, hey, are you okay? And how are you? And what's going on? You know, stuff like that. So hope you enjoyed this one. Feel free to put comments in about any other weird and crazy ideas that you might have for topics of discussion. Or don't come up with weird locations though, right? I'm not going on some crazy out there safari where I hang off buildings and stuff. Mind you, I've been known to do some hair-raising things in my time, so you never know. Catch you soon on the other side.